So yeah, my name's Tom. I'm the Northwest Coordinator for the charity, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the role of a CCSS Coordinator, and I'm also going to discuss some feedback that we get both from families and the coronial staff as well. So to begin with, the role of a CCSS Coordinator, it's a very varied role. Much like the volunteer role, no 2 days are the same. Each team of volunteers will have a specific coordinator who manages a number of different courts. And essentially, each coordinator is responsible for managing those teams of volunteers to ensure that the service is effectively delivered. As you'll be aware, each court has a lead volunteer as well, and the coordinators work closely with those lead volunteers to manage that service. The lead volunteers are really important in terms of giving us feedback, as they're often at court, the individual courts more often than we are. The coordinators are responsible for recruiting volunteers to their teams. So once a volunteer application form comes in, the coordinators will ring up the potential volunteer just to have an initial conversation, and that's normally to discuss or clarify the role in more detail, answer any questions that potential volunteer may have, but also to check that they are happy with the commitment we ask for as well. After that phone call, we'll organise a volunteer interview where we'll, and again that's often done in conjunction with the lead volunteer, where we'll interview the potential volunteer. And if we're both happy to proceed, we'll then help that volunteer organise their observations and shadowing at court. We're also responsible for training the volunteers, so the coordinators will deliver the training in conjunction with another coordinator, and once the training has been completed, we will visit those volunteers at court, and that is just to ensure that they are comfortable with the role and competent at it as well. The coordinators are there to address any issues or concerns that volunteers may have with the role. We will visit each of our courts regularly just to visit and check in with both the volunteers and the coronial staff. Sometimes we'll even get our hands dirty and do the volunteer role ourselves. That might be if we're helping covering sickness or holidays. And we also attend and chair the volunteer team meetings as well. Another large part of the role is to liaise with appropriate agencies. Now that might be with the coroner's office and the staff there, or it could be other external agencies. So for example, we may have a meeting with another support charity such as Cruise or Child Bereavement UK. And it's our responsibility to build relationships and work in partnership with those organisations to improve the service that we can deliver to those attending inquests. We'll also often deliver talks or presentations to local services, agencies or community groups, and that helps both raise the profile. It can help us raise funds, but it can also help us with the recruitment of volunteers as well. Coordinators are also responsible for completing some administrative tasks, such as risk assessments, which obviously we've been very busy with recently in our quest to get our service back up and running. We complete the volunteer DVS applications, and we collate volunteer stats as well. So that's just a really brief outline of what we do. Any questions, please do ask. And the second thing I want to talk to you about is feedback. So one of the most rewarding parts of the service, I think, and the role that we have at court, is the feedback that you get from bereaved families and other attendees. And as you'll all know, sometimes you get some lovely feedback on the day, but people who've received our support will often get in touch afterwards to let us know how we've helped. And like all organisations, that feedback, those testimonies we get really demonstrate what a great job that we do. And it can also be used as evidence in funding applications and raising the profile as well. So I'm just going to read a few quotes that we've had from bereaved families we've supported at court. It's a strange and scary experience being at an inquest for your own relative. and you're at a very vulnerable and anxious stage. So it was very, very nice indeed to have someone to greet us and take care of us and explain the process and answer any questions we had. The CCSS is a wonderful charity, providing a much needed service at a time of stress and upset. The volunteer was so helpful in explaining the procedure and looking after us throughout and afterwards. We couldn't have got through it without her. So I think those quotes really outline, what people experience, the role that we do, and how that role impacts on those attending as well. And it's really lovely, I think, to hear those words and that language about what the volunteers do. But it's not just the bereaved families and other attendees. We also get great feedback from the coronial staff. One senior coroner described us as invaluable, and another stated we provided a first-class service they could not be without. So again, I think that just reinforces what an amazing job that we're all doing. So thank you for listening.